Next episode in the definition series, we're talking about stretches. That's right, stretches. Now, there's a lot of misconception about stretches. What exactly stretches are for, what they do, when is the right time to do the right kind of stretches. I'm about to unlearn a lot of things that you thought you knew to be fact. Just like the facts, two types of stretches. Those two stretches, dynamic and static. Static stretching is the kind of stretching that you guys probably know. This is the stretching that was taught to you in gym class. You know, it's the first thing you think of whenever you're told to go stretch. So before you do an activity, you know, what do a lot of you do? Oh, before I go running, let me touch my toes, pull my leg back, you know, hold the position. Well, for us 90s kids out there, that's the only kind of stretching we ever knew. So before we do everything, we get down on the ground, we start trying to touch our toes and whatever. That's what they taught you in gym class in the 90s. That's the kind of stuff that you gotta unlearn, because that's the kind of stretching that could hurt you. To break it down into simplest terms, static stretching is when you're holding a muscle in one position for an extended amount of time under pressure so as that the muscle can lengthen and relax. For example, if I just hold my arm across myself like this, I'm holding the muscle in one position, I'm putting pressure. Eventually, usually about 30 seconds, the muscle will begin to relax and my range of motion may increase a bit. This is what you're doing when you're trying to touch your toes, or if you're holding yourself in this position, etc., etc. There is a time and a place for static stretching, but before working out is not that time and place. Static stretching is more of a relaxation tool. When you do a static stretch, you trigger the parasympathetic system. I know we're trying to keep big words out this channel, but basically what that means is that when you trigger that system, that's a branch of your nervous system that signals relaxation, cooling down, coming down from an activity. You're stretching out one muscle, you're restricting the blood flow, which is lowering the amount of air, oxygen that's gonna go through there, and is actually detrimental to doing before an activity such as running or anything, really. Static stretching is best done if it's post-workout and you got tight muscles and you're trying to relax, or before bed, you know, during yoga, a relaxing yoga session just to kind of cool down after work. It's a good tool to use in recovery. If one part of your body is really tight and it's uncomfortable, you can do a static stretch, try to relax it. Static stretch is normally between 15 and 30 seconds, they say. I say 30 seconds. That is what was taught to me through my personal training certification, and that's what seems to be the time that I think should be the minimum. The second type of stretch, the most important and probably the most underutilized, is the dynamic stretch. Dynamic stretch is when you have a repeated motion. For example, if I'm just going like this with my arm in a slow, controlled motion, that's considered a dynamic stretch. Circles, remember these? This was the part in gym class where it started burning and then you just started complaining and you were just like, I don't want to do this, it's not fun. That burning feeling is the feeling that you really want, and that's the feeling that you need, because that means that you're warming the area up, you're improving blood flow. More blood flow means more oxygen, means you're more prepped for the activity coming ahead. Even shadow boxing, not when you're punching really fast, just slow, controlled movements. If I just stand here and I just kind of jab with a slow motion, that's a dynamic stretch. This is the kind of stuff you need to do. You need to think about the activity you're about to do and prepare for that activity. If I'm about to go running or jogging, I should maybe kind of walk in place for a bit, you know, or step and do some light lunges. That's gonna prep your area. That's gonna get you fired up, and that's the kind of stretching that we should do normally, even before work and before any kind of activity, even leaving the house. Do some dynamic stretches, get your body warmed up. The lack of dynamic stretching is why so many of us are tight in so many places, because we have limited range of motion. The shoulder circles, you know, as you're circling back, you're hitting areas that you normally never hit because you're so used to being slouched over, bent over, texting. I'm going to go into this in depth a lot further, and we're going to really break down some dynamic stretches, but this is the stuff that you need to get in your head right now. Static stretching before a workout, don't. You need more dynamic stretching in your life. And don't be afraid to make up new stretches, you know? Doesn't matter. If I'm just going like this, that's a dynamic stretch for my neck. Side to side, motion. Dynamic stretches are motion. And with either stretch, especially dynamic stretches, as you're moving, as you're going in different ranges, you might feel some clicks and pops, and you might feel your body just like make a satisfying pop as you go in the direction you're not used to. That's just gas is being released. That means you're taking the area and the restriction is loosening, everything's breaking apart. That's a good feeling. You know, when you get a good back stretch and you feel that pop, you know, you need more of that. So we're gonna get into that. So this information is valid for everybody, but especially those in my age group, the trapped in the 90s group, you know, that we just remember what we learned in gym class and most of it is bad education. Yeah, these are the ones that I really am talking to. Dynamic stretching. That was my definitions, episode 3. There's going to be a lot more of this coming. This channel is starting to get some momentum. I'm getting a lot of feedback messages from people, so please, if you like what you're seeing, of course I got to do all the things to promote. I know it's annoying, but like, comment, subscribe, share it. Subscribing helps a lot. Just commenting on the comment section creates activity, which boosts the video. Same goes for the Instagram. And I will continue to spread the free information because this is giving me life and I love doing it and I love helping you guys. All right? Peace.